Greetings to everybody out there in the No DQ galaxy. Welcome to the No DQ live recap of AEW Dynamite back on Wednesday night. It is September the 9th, 2020. 15 seconds in and I've already screwed up. Shout out to everybody in the chat room watching this live. It is live and mistakes are bound to happen, but hopefully I can regain my composure and not mess up a whole lot more as we move along here with this recap of AEW. Thank you to everybody watching this on demand as well. And just a quick reminder, if you enjoy this video, please give it the thumbs up. The thumbs up helps the video in the YouTube searches and gets more recognition for the video. Also, share a link to this video on social media if you can. Tell a friend, it would be very much appreciated. We kicked off the show with Tony Schiavone outside Daly's place. We had two cars pull up head to head. One of them had Chris Jericho, the other had MJF. And basically each guy praised the other one and said that the other guy got screwed. Jericho said MJF got robbed. MJF said Jericho losing to Orange Cassidy was criminal. They gave each other elbow bumps and then they walked off. We had a split screen with each of them walking in different directions and calling the other one a loser. I enjoyed the segment, a little bit over choreographed. I think they could have done without the split screen, but still very entertaining stuff from Jericho and MJF. I remember they had a segment on Dynamite 7-8 months ago before the pandemic started, and that was a really fun segment. I'm looking forward to the inevitable Jericho versus MJF match. That should be some good shit, pal. We had our first match of the evening, which was the Lucha Brothers versus the Jurassic Express. No entrances. We got right down to the ring with the action. And it was back and forth between the two teams. You had Penta with a backstabber to Jungle Boy, and then they did their top rope foot stomp and package pile driver combo, which Jungle Boy kicked out of. And then Jungle Boy managed to make Pentagon give his own tag team partner a Canadian Destroyer, and then Jungle Boy rolled up Phoenix for the 1-2-3. Really nice showing here for Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus did get some action earlier in the match, took out Pentagon and Phoenix, but in the end it was Jungle Boy that got the win. And after the match, there was dissension between Penta and Phoenix. Phoenix shoved Penta, and we had Butcher and Blade come in. Eddie Kingston came into the ring and tried to get everybody back on track, said that they should be running this place, and he wanted Penta and Phoenix to shake hands. Finally, the two did shake hands and they hugged, and then Eddie reminded everybody that he was never eliminated from the Battle Royal. He's pulling out the Curtis Axel card here, I guess. Maybe we'll see Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer. Although they did announce Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley for the championship in October. So they're going to build that up for the next month here, and they'll be doing that pretty soon. By the way, for those of you complimenting the shirt, I got this over at Target if you're interested. It's an interesting t-shirt to say the least, with the Warrior, and you got, let me see if I can lift it up more. You got some other characters on here, Randy Savage and Big Boss Man and so forth. TJS with a $2 super chat says, happy spoiler/off-topic day, BG. Thank you for that, TJS, with the first super chat of the evening. I appreciate it. Ken says, boo, Walmart is better. I like Target. Target has a very easy layout. It's not overcrowded like Walmart. Prices are similar. Maybe they're a little cheaper at Walmart, but I've always enjoyed Target. I like the smell of Target. It has a very distinctive smell, and even during the pandemic, I've gone to Target and they've been very good about wiping down the carts and enforcing social distancing. I feel comfortable going in there and not feeling like I'm putting myself at a huge risk by going in there. There's my little Target praise, and no, I'm not being paid by them. Just was commenting on the shirt. Back to Dynamite. We had Jake the Snake Roberts and Lance Archer outside some building with graffiti. It was raining, and Jake had to make a line about how they might as well get wet and enjoy it since they're out there in the rain. And of course, we had his infamous line from last week, which I'm not going to repeat because it disturbs me. Lance Archer talked about Jon Moxley and getting his championship opportunity. He said Moxley has been AEW champion for far too long, and he's going to take care of Moxley and win that championship. We had Matt Hardy come to the ring for his big health update. The crowd chanted Hardy. We did have some fans in attendance again. Hardy said it's good to be there with a live audience of real people. I guess the fans at Thunderdome are not real people. I suppose this was a shot at WWE, but maybe not. Maybe he just talked about the actual fans instead of the trainees and wrestlers being out there. But to say real people, that was an odd line to use because we've had real people, whether it's the trainees or the Thunderdome fans, they're still real people. Matt talked about how he suffered a very scary fall at All Out. He did not use the word concussion. He did not say he had a concussion. He did not deny that he got a concussion. He did say he is expected to make a 100% recovery from his scary fall. And Rebby was there. Rebby, his wife, who made quite the noise on social media. She was there with her young child. And Matt apologized to the AEW fans for putting them through that. He said the match wasn't what he wanted it to be, but he's glad the feud is over because he felt like if it continued, one of them would have gotten even more seriously hurt than they were. Asim with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. He says, who's the best old man in wrestling? Rey Mysterio, Y2J, or Dustin Rhodes? I got to go with Jericho, but Rey Mysterio has been doing great stuff, and Dustin's been doing great stuff. All three of them have proven that they still got tank in the gas, even though they're no spring chickens. Matt continued to talk about how he is going to focus on getting cleared. Again, if he did not suffer a concussion, why does he need to take time off to get cleared? He said that he will come back. He will chase his first AEW championship. I guess maybe TNT title or maybe tag team titles. Maybe the world title. He did not specify, but he did say that the journey is not over. I guess I screwed up again. I said tank in the gas. I meant to say gas in the tank. My brain is not working tonight. Brain no work. We had Orange Cassidy versus Angelico with Jack Evans in his corner. And basically this was a showcase match for Mr. Cassidy. He did a swinging DDT. He kipped up. The crowd chanted freshly squeezed. And he picked up the win with the Orange Punch. I like that name for the Superman Punch, the Orange Punch. After the match, Santana and Ortiz attacked Cassidy with their baton. The Best Friends made the save. Chuck Taylor challenged Santana and Ortiz to a parking lot brawl on next week's show. Trent said that they are not going to be best friends. They're not going to be happy and hugging. They are coming to Dynamite next week to hurt Santana and Ortiz. And he also said that they are going to make his mama proud. That's so sweet. Then we had the moment giving the people what they want. Best Friends and Orange Cassidy did the big hug. We had Alex Marvez knocking on the door of the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks, much like Aleister Black, feel like if you're knocking on their door, you're there to pick a fight. And they responded by super kicking Alex Marvez. Poor guy. Excalibur was upset about this, saying that the Bucks are going to a dark place and nobody should put their hands on a non-wrestler. It was later announced that the Bucks were fined $5,000 cash each. But of course, for them, I'm sure it's just a little slap on the wrist. Maybe they'll come out and start chanting Attica, Attica, if any of you get that reference. We had Tony Schiavone in the ring bringing out Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford to reveal the best man for his wedding. And there were several teases. The first person that came out was named Puff, a rather large gentleman. Sabian was angry, saying this was not the guy, and sent him back. Brian Pillman Jr. came out with his mullet, and apparently there was a miscommunication with the text. Sabian wrote in the text, the best, comma, man. And Sabian said they're not even friends. And he sent poor Brian Pillman Jr. packing. I want to see more Pillman Jr. on Dynamite. I'm really enjoying him so far. I think the guy's got a lot of potential. Then we finally had the best man arrive. And everybody, what day is it today? Why, it's Miro Day. That's right, Miro, formerly Rusev, making his AEW debut. At first I thought, gee, this is a really bizarre way to debut him as the best man for Kip Sabian. Not the way I would have imagined him debuting, but he came into the ring and he just oozed this charisma and had fire. He cut this promo, maybe the best promo of his career. The announcers were talking about how these guys must have hit it off on Twitch. Another knock at WWE with the Twitch ban. Miro had this bleach blonde hair, and he said for 10 years he's been in the same house with the same glass ceiling with an imaginary brass ring, another shot at Vince. He said that they could take that brass ring and shove it up their ass. He said Elite recognizes Elite, and he loves Kip Sabian because he is the best man for the job, and he's the best gamer. He said his name is Miro, and he is all elite. I really enjoyed this. I'm very happy to see Miro in AEW. Of course, you get the people that say, oh, it's another former WWE guy, but where else do you expect him to go? Impact? I saw a few people on Twitter say he should have gone to Impact. No. If he wants to be a star, he goes to AEW. Just saying. With all due respect to Impact. Ken terminated by DQ with a $5 super chat says, I love Miro and his channel to death, but just like Percy Pringle, Miro should stick to being a brunette. What do you think, Rift? Well, thank you for that, Ken. I like the hair change. It's something different. Change up his look. He's in AEW. It's a new place. Hey, I got the bleach blonde hair. Why knock it? He has a beard to go along with it. I like his look. I did not have a problem with it. And I like the moniker, the best man, you know? He's literally the best man, not just the best man in the wedding. He's the best man, Miro. I like it. They're going to sell a ton of t-shirts, the best man, Miro. good stuff here. I like the new moniker, and the crowd was chanting Miro Day, which I'm not sure they're going to play up on because it's WWE's shtick. But I do like the best man thing, and he can run with that. Very strong debut here from Miro. And a big surprise, as TGS pointed out, unpredictable. TGS sent in a $2 super chat, says, "Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling." Little Eminem reference there. Thank you for that, TJS. Miro on the wall. Who's the bestest of them all? I like it, Curtis Butler. We had Adam Page being interviewed by Tony Schiavone. Page offered Tony a drink, but Tony declined. He's a professional. He's got a job to do. He respectfully declined. Tony asked him how he's feeling. Page said his ribs are bruised up, and Tony said he doesn't want that stock answer. He wants to know how Page is really feeling. And Page said that what happened at All Out with them losing the titles, him and Kenny Omega, to FTR, it did not have to happen. FTR should not have been in the match in the first place. Young Bucks should have won their qualifying match. They're the best team in the world. He did say that he felt like him and Kenny could win back the tag team titles at some point. Nice promo here from Page. And later on, we had one with Omega. I'll get to that in a few minutes. We had a tag team match. Holla, holla, holla. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager against Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. Sonny and Joey worked well as a team. They got some offense, but in the end, this was a showcase for the heels. Hager ended up tossing Joey off the stage through a table, and then Sonny did a crossbody block to both Jericho and Hager. Sonny had some momentum, but then Jericho used a fire extinguisher. I forgot to mention this was a no DQ match. How can I forget about a no DQ match stipulation? Again, my brain is not working tonight. We had Hager score the pinfall after the fire extinguisher was used by Jericho. And then after the match, Jericho cut a promo, said that the Inner Circle had a terrible night at All Out, but now him and Jake Hager are going to build up their wins as a tag team and go for the tag team titles at some point. Interesting little twist here. Jericho now going into the tag team division, a change of pace for him. I still want to see Jericho versus MJF before Jericho wraps up his run in AEW. Speaking of MJF, he talked about Dictator John cheating. This was a backstage segment with his campaign team, and he blamed them for his loss at All Out. He fired all of them except for Wardlow. He did get in Wardlow's face. However, he said that he is the only person who sees Wardlow's potential, and he reminded Wardlow that him, not Tony Khan, is signing his paychecks. MJF vowed to get back on top where they belong. Maybe we'll see MJF and Wardlow team up against Chris Jericho and Jake Hager, and that's how we'll get our little bit of Jericho versus MJF. We had Jon Moxley cut a backstage promo. He said his challenges, they're not getting any easier. He said there's no shortcuts. You have to claw and scratch your way to the top. But he's feeling unstoppable. And even though Lance Archer calls himself a monster, Moxley knows that he is a man and he can be defeated. Nice little promo here from Moxley to set up that match, which again is coming up in about a month from now, sometime in October, I forgot the date. It might be like October 14th or something, but they're giving this plenty of time to build up. Hopefully there's nothing with COVID that causes a delay with this match. That would really suck if they build up a month to hype up the match and then it gets delayed. I believe it's the 14th of October. I'm looking at the calendar here. I'm pretty sure it was the 14th that they announced. So yeah, over a month from now. That's about a 5-week buildup for this match. I guess this will be like the buffer pay-per-view quality world title match between All Out and Full Gear. We had FTR with a celebration in the ring. Not all the tag teams, but most of the tag teams were surrounding the ringside area. Tully Blanchard said they are the greatest tag team champions in the world and said, "Fear the revelation." Talked about how it was 117 degrees outside and they battled for 30 plus minutes to win those titles. Wheeler got on the mic and said that AEW has the deepest and best tag team division and they had to fight for all 8 of their victories so far. They're undefeated. However, they started mocking the tag teams. They mocked Billy and his son Austin Gunn, said that just because Billy is in a second-rate Hall of Fame doesn't mean that Billy and his son are in the front of the line for a title match. They made fun of Daniels and Kazarian for being old, said maybe if they were in their prime, they'd be able to beat FTR. They talked trash towards Jurassic Express. It was announced that there would be a match between FTR and Jurassic Express for next week. However, the tag team titles would not be on the line. Then you had Harwood refer to Jurassic Express as cosplay Tarzan and a dumbass dinosaur. We had the Express get in the ring, and that's when papers were thrown in Luchasaurus's face. All hell broke loose. You had FTR attempt to flee the scene, but the other team surrounded the ring, the teams that they insulted. And then you had Jurassic Express dump a bucket of ice onto FTR. Kind of lame. I think it would have been cool if all the teams threw them back in the ring and FTR got their clothes ripped off or something. But the ice thing, like, wow, you dumped ice on them and that's supposed to be this humiliating thing? I don't know. I thought they could have done this segment a little bit better in my opinion, but I still enjoyed it. We had Taz on commentary talking about All Out, and footage was shown from the Casino Battle Royale. We had Ricky Starks once again come out dressed up like Darby Allin, made fun of Darby Allin, said he dislocated his pinky and now he can no longer skateboard with his friends. He said he's going to beat Darby Allin's ass next time he shows up. Nice little promo here from Ricky Starks. And then we had Ty Conti, who just officially signed with AEW, former NXT star. I'm not going to really say superstar because she was barely on NXT. She faced Nyla Rose in a one-on-one match, and she got some offense. She got Nyla down to the mat. Vicky Guerrero made her presence felt, interfering when the referee wasn't looking. Conti was able to come back and put an armbar on Rose, but Rose, with her power, broke out of it, hit the Beast Bomb, and scored the 1-2-3 victory over a very game Ty Conti. After the match, Vicky yelled, "Excuse me," several times. And she said the Vicious Vixens, I guess that's their duo name, they're going to make a statement. They're not going anywhere. They were going to continue the beat down on Ty, but then Hikaru Shida, the AEW Women's Champion, made the save with a kendo stick, and the heels fled the scene. We then had Jim Ross talking to Kenny Omega, and Omega said that he was a champ, now he's not a champ. It is what it is. That's how the wrestling business goes. He admitted that him and Paige had chemistry, and Omega talked about how when AEW started, people had these expectations that he would be the face of the company, and he kind of lost his way for a while. Interesting that they're turning that into a storyline. But said he found a different sense of purpose working with Paige. JR asked him, what's next? Omega said he has his own dreams, his own goals. He gave a year of his life to the tag team division, but now it's time to go back to singles action. A bit of a different response to the future of the team than what Paige said earlier. Paige open to the idea of them going for the tag team titles, but Omega he's pretty much done with tag teams, and he's going to go on. We had our main event of the evening, which was Dustin Rhodes versus Brody Lee. Dustin attacked Brody during the introductions, gave Brody a back body drop on a table which did not break, and Excalibur even used the Botchamania line, "I am the table." Well done there, Excalibur. Nicely played. Back in the ring, the bell finally rang. Brody dominated for a while. Cody made a comeback with the Destroyer. He hit a crossroads for another near fall. Brody then came back with a powerbomb, got a near fall. John Silver then got on the apron, and Dustin, instead of being a stupid babyface, actually took advantage. He hit the Shattered Dreams to Brody. That took Brody out for a while, and then Cody went after John Silver and took him out with a power slam. At least Dustin took care of Brody first before taking care of John Silver, instead of the typical babyface thing where you would just forget about your opponent and focus on the guy on the outside. So I did like this better. This is an improvement over the interference dumb babyface spot that we usually see on WWE television. Rarely does AEW make it where the babyface looks really dumb. So anyways, you had Dustin hit a pile driver to Brody, but Brody was able to put his arm on the rope, and the commentary was really good. Here's why JR is still the best, because he knows how to get Dustin over. He even mentions that Brody did not kick out. If Brody was not near the rope, Brody might not have kicked out of that move. And that puts over Dustin. That's why JR is arguably the greatest of all time. He knows how to put the guy over who's losing the match, in this case Dustin, because of course Brody came back, hit 2 kicks. I think the first one missed, so that was a Botchamania moment. I think it was a miss at least. Maybe he did connect, but I thought he missed the first kick. He had a second one, and then he hit the discus lariat to pick up the victory. And after the match, Dark Order came out. They had QT Marshall draped over one of the guy's shoulders, knocked out, and then they hit a low blow, or I should say Brody hit a low blow to Dustin to end the show. But there was a segment with Cody Rhodes right after Dynamite went off the air. Apparently, well, Cody, I don't think he's actually part of this show, but he basically introduced it. There's some new show on TNT called the Go Big Show, which I guess is some kind of outdoor COVID-era version of America's Got Talent. Not my cup of tea, but another show coming up, and this was just an advertisement for that. Cody mentioned that he's injured, but he's hyping up this new show, yada, yada, yada. Really good Dynamite this week. Damn good show, in my opinion. They definitely rebounded from All Out. All Out was a good show, but there were some people criticizing it, and I was critical of the last 2 Dynamites. I thought that they were subpar by AEW standards. This week, Miro's debut, a lot of talking. This was a promo-heavy show, storyline-heavy show, but you guys know I like the sports entertainment stuff, and there was some good wrestling too. Dustin, the dude still has it. He can still go. Opening match was fun. So you had good wrestling on this show, and you had a lot of interesting storylines develop. You had a surprise debut with Miro. Overall, very memorable Dynamite. I'm giving it a solid A-, which is pretty high. I wouldn't say it was the best Dynamite of all time, but it was up there. Maybe even top 10 Dynamites up to this point. Really fun show here. What did you guys think of Dynamite this week? Leave me your letter grade in the comments. It looks like I'm a little bit behind. Hopefully the chat room did not freeze, because I'm not seeing the comments that I'm seeing on my phone. So I'm going to have to improvise here for a second. Nathan gives it an A. Lewis with an A. Mr. Anderson gives it an A. Somebody said I did not freeze, so I'm hopeful that I'm still on. Curtis Butler with a B. He says he's being nice. CC Drink with a B+. Asim with a B. Looks like I may have enjoyed this more than some of you. I'm seeing a lot of B's from the responses, but I really enjoyed this Dynamite. I would recommend checking out most of the show. I mean, it flowed really nicely, in my opinion. Let's see. Miro, or not Miro. Again, my brain is fried. Ken, with a $5 super chat, says, well, do you think Miro should bleach his goatee like Percy Pringle bleached his mustache when he tried to do a Bobby Heenan doppelganger? I like the look he has. I don't have a problem with the dark beard and the blonde hair. I think it's a unique look. I say keep it. But we'll see. We'll see if there's a lot of criticism. If he has a different look next week, you'll know that there was too much criticism and he made the call to change it. But I say, Miro, don't change it. Keep the look. I approve of it. Ken says, Rift called me Miro. I'm laughing. Curtis Butler says you did not freeze, but some need to chill. Everyone's okay in the chat room. I appreciate the comments and the feedback from everybody. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell a friend. Next up on the agenda is the No DQ review. We'll be talking about Miro's debut, I'm sure, and all the other happenings this past week in wrestling. All Out, Matt Hardy, Raw. Lots of stuff to talk about, so tune in next time for the No DQ review. I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight and watching on demand. Take care, everybody. Stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you all next time.